Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're someone struggling to lose weight, you just can't seem to lose the excess fat, the stubborn belly fat as we call it, well, watch this video. Because in today's video, I'll be explaining the key to effective weight loss. What is that, you may be asking? Fat adaptation. In this video, I'll be explaining what fat adaptation is, the benefits of fat adaptation, and how to enter a fat adapted state. Alright, so what is fat adaptation? Fat adaptation is a state where your body relies heavily on utilizing fats to produce energy. Most individuals are in a carb adapted state, meaning their body relies heavily on using glucose to produce energy. Now, without getting too technical, the way the body breaks down glucose to produce energy is via the glycolysis pathway. So glucose enters the cell, breaks down glucose into pyruvate, and pyruvate is an intermediate molecule that can either produce ATP energy or lactic acid. The fate of this intermediate molecule is dependent on whether or not oxygen is present. Now, the way the body produces, or the way that the body utilizes fats to produce energy is via beta oxidation. So what happens is the fatty acid enters the cell. It then passes through the mitochondrial membrane into the mitochondria. The mitochondria then break down this fat to produce ATP. Now, both glycolysis and beta oxidation have their own benefits, which we will go into next. So what are the benefits of being in a fat adapted state? Well, there are many benefits to being in a fat adapted state, but I'm just going to name a few in this video. One of the first benefits of fat adaptation is improved fat utilization. Now, what does improved fat utilization mean? Improved fat utilization means that your body is very efficient at utilizing its fat from its fat tissue to provide energy for the body. This can lead to sustained weight loss over time. Most individuals struggle to keep the weight off, so they lose the weight, but they gain the weight right back. When you're in a fat adapted state, it's very difficult to gain the weight back because your body is very efficient at continuously utilizing the fat from its fat store. So you're gonna gradually lose weight over a period of time. Now, the second benefit is having stable energy levels. Most individuals are in a carb adapted state. Why? They primarily consume foods that are high in carbs. So if you notice, whenever you eat a food that's high in carbs, your energy levels will increase. But as time progresses, or as the day goes on, your energy levels will slowly deplete. This is one of the main reasons people have energy crashes, whether or not they're consuming, a Red Bull, a donut, a bagel in the morning. Most of these foods tend to cause energy crashes. But people in the fat adapted state, they don't experience energy crashes because most of the food that they eat are low in carbs. So when you're in a fat adapted state, you'll tend to have stable energy levels. So your energy levels will stay the same throughout the day. So that's another benefit to being in a fat adapted state. The third benefit to being in a fat adapted state is insulin sensitivity. Now, this is the best benefit in my opinion, because when you're insulin sensitive, this means your cells are effective at responding or being receptive to the insulin hormone. See, many individuals, or many diabetic individuals, or specifically people with type 2 diabetes, their cells aren't sensitive to the hormone insulin. So when your cells aren't sensitive to the hormone insulin, or they're ignoring the signals from insulin, this can cause insulin resistance, meaning your cells aren't responding to the insulin hormone. So there's a high level of insulin in the blood, and it can also cause there to be a high concentration of glucose in the bloodstream, which can be detrimental to the body. So these are just a few benefits to fat adaptation, but there are a lot more. Now, now I'll explain how to enter the fat adapted state. So how do you enter a fat adapted state? Well, the first thing you have to do is eliminate all carbs from your diet. What we need to do is deplete your liver and muscle of its glycogen stores. Glycogen is stored glucose. So once your liver and your muscle is depleted of glucose or glycogen, your body can switch to using fats to produce energy. Now the second thing we need to do is increase your healthy fat intake. So you need to increase your intake of things like avocados, nuts, olive oil, fatty cuts of meat. These different foods are enriched in healthy fat. Now, what this does is when you increase your consumption of healthy fats, it provides the body with an alternative fuel source. Now, the next thing I want you to do is limit your consumption of protein. Not to the extent of carbohydrates, but the reason you want to eat protein in moderation is because there's a process known as gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis takes place in the liver, and what the liver will do is convert the excess protein to glucose. So those are three things you need to do: eliminate carbohydrates from your diet, increase your healthy fat intake, and eat moderate protein. Now, there are ways to enter the fat adapted state through exercise. Studies show that when an individual regularly engages in low to moderate intensity exercises, that the body prefers to use fat to produce energy than glucose. Now, why is this? Why does the body prefer to use fat during low to moderate intensity exercises than glucose? Well, it's because it's sparing the use of glucose. The body prefers to use glucose during more intense exercises because glucose is readily available not only in the liver and the muscle, but in the bloodstream. The breakdown of fat is a long process and it requires lots of oxygen. When you're sprinting, for example, your body is in an anaerobic state because your body is using lots of oxygen via respiration or breathing. So if you found this video helpful, click the like button, share the video with anybody that could benefit from the information that I'm providing, and leave a comment. Ask questions. I implore you to ask questions because I have lots of knowledge pertaining to weight loss, biochemistry. So yes, guys, stay healthy and remember, fat adaptation is the key to weight loss.